Ouran High School Host Club, one of the most popular anime of the 2000s, and one of the most popular romance anime of all time. Yet, despite its popularity, it only lasted for a single season. Fans around the globe have clamored for a season 2, but to no avail. Having watched the whole show myself this past February, I believe what Ouran needs is not a season 2, but a full-blown remake. Stay tuned as I break down my reasons as to why. Ouran High School Host Club is a manga and anime series created by Bisco Hatori. The main character is a gender-non-conforming teenager named Haruhi Fujioka, who attends Ouran Academy, a school for super-rich people. When finding a place to study, she runs into the host club, a club full of handsome boys who are paid to flirt with girls. But then, Haruhi breaks a vase worth 8 million yen, or 58,851 US dollars. Now Haruhi has to pretend to be a boy and join the host club in order to work off the debt, while unexpectedly gaining her own reverse harem. The series pokes fun at otaku culture while also having a surprising amount of humor and heart. Seriously, this is one of the anime I've laughed the most at. There's lots of great character growth and friendship moments as well as really positive messages.
Listen, senpai, I don't really care whether you guys recognize me as a boy or a girl. In my opinion, it's more important for a person to be recognized for who they are rather than for what sex they are.
Even though it's romantic comedy, there's a lot of nice episodes where the host club just chills out, or they help people at school. There's just two problems. One, not everything in the show aged well, and two, it didn't finish adapting the manga. These are my main reasons as to why it deserves a remake, so as to adapt it to modern sensibilities and to completely adapt the manga. First off, despite being hailed as a progressive masterpiece for its positive portrayal of gender nonconformity, Ouran Host Club has some pretty offensive so-called jokes in it that need to be removed if there's a remake. First off, there's all the stuff with Haruhi's dad, Ranka Fujioka, who's a drag queen, and gets called a T-slur at least 3 times within the show. In the dub, that is. Ranka is still a likable character, but the host club was pretty unnecessarily rude towards him. Needless to say, that kind of language is not present in today's dubs. Funimation occasionally like to put slurs in their dubs, whether it be the T-slur, as is the case with this show, or the R-slur in their dubs of Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho. Also, there's all the stuff with the Lobelia Girls Academy and the Zuka Club, who, in their debut episode, do the Nazi salute, but instead of the swastika, they put the Japanese character for woman, which is Ona. Get it? Because they're feminazis? Haha, please laugh now. I expect something like that out of South Park, not a shojo anime. It doesn't help that they're the only lesbian characters in the show, and Tamaki says something to the effect of, "Oh no, how dare 2 women be together? God created Adam and Eve, blah blah blah." Though, in the first episode, Tamaki had no issue with assuming that Haruhi was an openly gay guy and even tried to kiss her. Finally, one chapter/episode they need to completely redo if there's a remake is the beach episode. Oh, this episode was so bad. One of the worst episodes, not just anime, but anything ever. I'm not joking. So basically, the host club goes to the beach, and then Haruhi gets harassed by some thugs. She stands up to them, and then Tamaki gets mad at her because, "Oh no, you're a girl and you can't take on those big guys." And then Haruhi is treated as though she's in the wrong, and she's forced to apologize even though she didn't do anything wrong. And what makes matters worse is Kyoya did something really bad in this episode. But I can't say what it is because I would get in trouble with YouTube, but let's just say it was non-consensual. Yeah, I like to pretend this episode doesn't exist. If I were to remake this episode, I would have it so that the host club is still angry with Haruhi, but not because she's a girl and she stand up to the thugs. It's because she's a small person taking on 3 big people and she didn't call them for help. And it's just anger born of worry, rather than misogyny. And of course take out Kyoya's threat of doing that really bad thing. Yes, it was just a threat. He didn't actually go through with it. He was threatening Haruhi to teach her a lesson or whatever. And now you're probably wondering, Oh, but what about the twins? Here's the thing. You can take out slurs, you can take out Nazi jokes, and you can rewrite bad episodes. But, unfortunately, the incest stick that the twins do is not going to be removed from the series if there's a remake, because that's just their act for the host club. They're not actually into each other, it's just the thing that they do for the customers. Trust me, I was just uncomfortable with the incest jokes as everyone else was. But if you plan to watch a show, don't worry. The incest jokes lessen over time to the point where in the last 10 or so episodes, there's no incest jokes at all. And outside of the incest stick, I do like Hikaru and Kaoru because they're really funny when they pull pranks on the other host club members and their character development of wanting to be seen as individuals. Alright, my next point is they didn't finish adapting the manga. The anime aired in 2006 and the manga ran from 2002 until 2010, but they never continued the anime. Anime is almost always made for the sole purpose of advertising and adapting manga, so what's the point of having an anime if it's not gonna completely adapt the whole thing? Another shojo anime that got a remake is Fruits Basket. It first had an anime in 2001, but it wasn't very faithful to the manga. But they remade it in 2019 and it follows the manga more closely. If Fruits Basket can get a remake, then so can Ouran Host Club. And there do seem to be some hints that something big Ouran related is coming. First off, they made a cafe based on Ouran in Japan. Also, they're making Ouran Nendoroids, and they're launching an Ouran fragrance line with official art. They're doing all this for a show that's over 17 years old and has a fan base that won't stop begging for a season 2 or a remake. I say that all of these signs point to Ouran getting a remake very soon. Maybe not this year, but definitely next year. If you want to check out the anime, the whole thing is on YouTube, Tubi, and on Netflix, subbed and dubbed. But please be careful of the things I mentioned while watching the show. I mean, after all, despite all the flaws I mentioned, the show is really funny, well written, and heartwarming most of the time. If you've seen the show, do you think it deserves a remake or not? And please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching!